Hi, my name is Charles Reynoso. I'm the director for Faith in Blackness and Exploration of AfroLatine spirituality. Uh, Faith in Blackness was shot in New York City and in Baltimore and in California and all around the United States. We collected stories of Afro-Latinidad, intersectionality, faith, and belief, both in perhaps something else, but in what is inherently within us. I think the inspiration for the film came from a paper that our executive producer had written. It was a beautiful paper on Afro-Latinidad and faith and what that intersectionality perhaps did in the hearts and minds of folks. And it was such an interesting topic. We wanted to start a conversation around it, and we decided that perhaps making it a documentary would make it more accessible to folks. And we've been so excited about the results. People strike up conversations when they see it, and I think that's the most beautiful thing about it. When we first started it, we were just doing what the title said. We were going around the United States asking folks who were Afro-Latino, who were Black Latinos, first about their Blackness, then about their faith, then the way in which that intersectionality played out in their lives. And while we had one vision for it, it ultimately became a story about decolonizing the structures that control us. So many of them said, I hit this mark where I realized that there was something about the way the faith was playing out that did not match the person that I was, and I had to make a decision. I had to decide whether I erased a part of myself or if I told the faith something is incomplete. So it's just a beautiful collection of tales that feel so different, because we often think that faith traditions make us so different. We had Messianic Jews, Muslims, Ifa practitioners, Lukumi, Christians, Buddhists. We had all of these folks, and you would think they would say vastly different things, but like one of the folks that we interviewed said that religion is a construct. It's a framework by which we do good, but faith is a belief. It's personal, and we saw how this played out in each and every one of their lives. I think the role of cinema, much like all of storytelling, is to always hold up a mirror to society. It's to always say, hey, look at yourself. Just look at yourself and always ask the question, like, why do I do the things that I do? What drives me to do those things? And what I really loved about this story is that so many of the folks that we interviewed did that for themselves. They did like their own work of holding a mirror up and being like, why do I follow this faith in this way? Why do I change myself in that way? Is that the best version of me? Is that the version of me that is inherently the truest version of myself? The version that I would want to love most and would want to feel like loved me the most. And I think cinema does that for people. I think cinema excites us. Cinema makes us fall in love and feel mushy or laugh and do all those things. But I think ultimately cinema holds a mirror to us and reminds us to be kind to ourselves. Because sometimes we just don't know what we're doing. And so you should be kind to yourself. I think in the age of streaming, kindness is most important, because I think the advancement of technology has caused us to the advancement of technology has caused companies to believe even further that storytelling and the value of that human involvement in that storytelling is somehow less valuable, or does not require compensating in the way that it has in the past. I think we forget that storytelling is inherently human. Storytelling is inherently us metabolizing the world and holding that mirror. And that folks should be compensated for that work, because it's, I don't know about you, but I imagine it's hard work to hold up a mirror to society. It feels like hard work, because it is. And the folks who do that, the folks who make you laugh, the folks who make you think deeply about something, the folks who share information you've never shared, who help you see something you never saw before, it's important that that work is compensated in the way that shows what value it has for us as people. I think it's important that we hold companies accountable for that. Because storytelling will always exist. You will never destroy cinema, because how do you destroy storytelling? It's just, folks will, the invention of YouTube, the invention of indie filmmaking, the invention of all of that is because one person had too much control and all the stories needed to be told, and so folks just made something different. And I think cinema and storytelling will always do that. The moment one group's voice is too loud, you will inherently have every other group say, no, there needs to be another voice. So I am optimistic that we will figure out how to continue storytelling and how to keep storytelling in the hands of hardworking people who hold that mirror up to us. Oh, I want to talk about our next project. I hope that they edit this in between. If they didn't, then that's you saw my thinking face. Our next project, we have another project that is on Black Lives in Contemplation. One of the folks inside our documentary spoke about Blackness and how we have a whole history of trauma to overcome, and oftentimes in social justice spaces where we're so good at the being angry part, at the being outraged, at the moving forward, and sometimes we do that because it is A, necessary, but B, keeping us from looking at the thing that is perhaps happened to us in the past. I think that pausing from life and reflecting on your life is so valuable. Because if not, then you're just doing things. And I think we feel that as time passes. When we don't reflect on our lives, we feel that something is up, but we don't have the language or the understanding to be like, oh, that may be it. Because we didn't spend time to pause, to just be still and be like, oh, I am mad at this thing that is happening, but I'm also mad at what happened to me 20 years ago. I think that being still and reflecting is so valuable, and it happens in so many beautiful ways in the Black community, and we're hoping to kind of showcase that in our new documentary, Be Still. Thank you so much for watching our doc. I hope that you enjoy it. It's a lot of good stuff. I think ultimately when me and the producers, and who are good friends of mine, are talking, we ultimately want to make films that teach folks how to be better to each other. I think there's a lot of cinema, and there's a lot of messages that teach us to be afraid of each other. But I think there are far few messages. I think that we need more messages that say, hey, this is how you can be better to other folks, and this is how you can be better to yourself. I hope you enjoy Faith in Blackness. I hope you follow us in our future projects. And thank you again.